Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be redoing this tank right here. As you saw in my last video, it's been driving me crazy and I've just decided that I'm just going to change it up so that way I don't have to look at it anymore. So the first thing that we're going to do is just go ahead and take these fish out of here. Alright, net acquired. So I'm going to be moving them into this fish tank here just because it's not very stocked. So I figured that would be the best place for them. Alright, so now that the fish are moved into another tank, I'm going to go ahead and get this tank cleaned up. And I won't bore you guys with the footage of me cleaning it because it's not exciting. I'm just cleaning a tank. But for you, it'll be like this in the next clip, and it'll probably take me like maybe 20 minutes. So I will see you guys in the next clip. Alright, so I'm done cleaning the fish tank, and it was very hot outside, so I'm sweating now. But anyways, so I'm going for another Iwagumi style layout in this tank. And so I have some extra fine aqua soil that I'm going to start with. I also have some root tabs that I'm going to bury in the substrate just to add a little bit of extra nutrients for the plants. And then after I lay some soil, then I'll go ahead and start adding the rocks. But first thing is the soil. This is just leftover aqua soil that I've used in other tanks. So that's a good base layer, and then now I'm just going to put some root tabs in, and then I'll bury them with a little bit more of the aqua soil. So now I'm going to add a little bit more aqua soil on top, just to add a little bit more height to the back, and then also so that way I really bury those root tabs. Also, if you're wondering why I have so many different types of aqua soil size, these are just leftover bags from other projects, so it's not a technique that I'm using, it's just what I have. So that's the only reason. You want the aqua soil layer to be a little bit taller in the back. You can pick a corner to have it angled from, or you could just have it all taller in the back, and that's just to help create a little more depth and dimension to your tank. So just a little tip if you don't already do that. I'm just going to start placing rocks in the tank and then seeing what I like and what I don't like. And I'm going to be using the series stone again. So yeah, usually when I'm placing a rock in the tank, I like to decide which side of which face of the rock I really like. And then that kind of determines how I place it. There's not a specific rule, it's just like what you like, honestly, because the tank is in your house. So as long as you like it, that's what matters. So I'm going for a very similar style layout as what I had last time. So pretty much just the two rocks in this corner and then the smaller rock in this corner. I'm just using new stones because the other ones had an algae on them. I wanted this tank to start fresh, so I'm just starting with this rock that I found. I thought it was cool. So I'm just going to place this one first. For Iwagumi, there's the main stone, and then there's like the supporting stone. I forget the exact names for it, but so I'm going to put this stone in second. And I'm going to put it in at an angle because I wanted to create some sort of tension in the tank and also to create visual interest. And then keep in mind when you're placing your rocks, I mean, you don't have to follow these rules, but it's nice to, instead of draw your attention to the center of the tank, have the main piece be like kind of in a third of the tank, whether it's this third or this third. So I'm just going for the same side like I did in the last tank. And then I'm also going to kind of bury this in the soil to help create stability. You don't want to just set it on top. And then I've got another stone here that I'm gonna place over in this corner, just so that way there's also a little bit of interest over on this side of the tank as well. So just gonna figure out how I want to place that. So this is what I've got so far. I'm just gonna add a little bit more soil again to the back over here, just to create a little bit more dimension, because I really want some height back here. And then after that, we can go ahead and get started planting. Alright guys, so that's the hardscape all done and finished. Super simple, you don't have to make it complicated. Also, when you're doing rocks, it's nice to do it in odd numbers. So like as you can see here, I did 3. Obviously, if you have a bigger tank, you'll need more rocks. So still, it's nice to do an odd number, but you don't have to. Again, these are just like suggestions. But let's get planting. All right, it is planting time, and I just have Monte Carlo. I have a few cups of these. I'm not sure how much I'll need, but I'll show you how I go ahead and prep these plants. It's super easy. You just take them out of the gel media and kind of like rinse that off, and then you break them into little pieces, and then you can plant. So I'll go ahead and show you what I mean by that. So I have a small bowl of water, and I'm just going to go ahead and dump out this whole cup of the Monte Carlo. And then as you can see, there is this gel media on here. And what that is just a lot of nutrients for the plants. So we just want to rinse it off so that way we don't have a lot of excess nutrients that get leaked into our water column in the fish tank. So I'm just going to kind of like squeeze it off. That's pretty much what I do. And then you can break them off into like little pieces. So I'm just going to go ahead and take off all of the gel first. And you can give it a rinse in the water and kind of just squeeze around the roots area to try and get all of that gel out. Right. So this is what it looks like now. You don't have to worry about it being perfect. It's okay if there's like a couple little pieces of the gel still in there. But what I do next is I just break the plant off into little bits like this, and then I plant that straight into the substrate. When you plant like this, instead of just putting the whole thing in the tank, it helps, 1, it gives your tank a fuller look, but then 2, it also encourages runners. So just like when you give your plant a trim, it encourages more growth. Same concept. So this is the best method when you're planting a carpeted tank. All right, there you have it, not too complicated. Plants are prepped and ready to be planted. I forgot to mention earlier, but it is really helpful if you spray down the aqua soil before you start planting. You don't have to do this, you could skip this step, but I think it's easier when the soil's wet. So for planting, I'm just going to take a bunch and then put it in my tweezers, and then I'm going to go ahead and just bury it into the aqua soil. So I'm going to start in the front, and then I will slowly work my way to the back. So the tank's fully planted now, and I didn't mention this earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and do a dry start on this tank. What that just means is that I'm not going to put any water in the tank yet, and I'm going to add some saran wrap to it. And so adding the saran wrap is really to lock in the moisture, because I'm going to spray, so that way I can create a humid type environment. So that way the plants grow really well and can establish roots in the soil. And then after the roots have grown, then I'm going to go ahead and add the water. So it usually takes like 4 to 8 weeks, depending on how patient you are. I'm usually adding water at like the 4th week period. And you also don't even have to do this technique. The plants would be just as fine if I added water now and went ahead and did CO2, but I just like this method. So everyone's different. I've had really good success with this method in other tanks, so that's the main reason why I'm doing it this way. I'm gonna go ahead and spray and then add the saran wrap. All right, so the saran wrap is on, and like I said, give it 4 to 8 weeks-ish, and then every couple days I like to go ahead and take it off and then spray it a little bit more, so that way it's staying nice and humid in there. But yes, so I'll probably fill this up in maybe 4 weeks, give or take. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment if you have any questions. I will do my best to answer them. Aside from that, I have a huge mess that you guys can't see that I need to clean. So I will catch you guys in the next video. But first, more height. You want to add more. You want the aquascape, and I'm placing it on the left side. Oops, god damn. Planter ready and prepped, and planter prep. I'm gonna spray the tank first, so that way I can lock in. Help me! Oh wait, I forgot to ask them to subscribe.